part 2 of the chapter 2 of history portion from your SST book, that is the growth of Indian nationalism. Now here we will be studying about the role of press, okay, and we will be discussing about the growth of political association, okay. Now first of all, what is press? Now press, all of us we know. How do you come to a very common name of press is what? Newspaper. Yes. Now what does these newspapers play? How does it play an important role in the freedom struggle of our Indian independence? Role of press. Now this press, okay, first of all it was introduced by an European, okay. Then European introduced the press in India. Now the first newspaper that was published in India was the Bengal Gazette, okay, which was made by James Augustus Hickey in 1780, in the year 1780. When this press was established in India, we find that through this press or through this newspaper, when all the details are being written, any situation is being happened in India, we find that all these informations are being collected by this press and being published in this Bengal Gazette. Through this, we find that the Indian people came to know about what are the different revolt, rebellion that are being taken in different parts of our country against the British rule. In this way, we find that the political consciousness awoke among the Indian people through this press. Now, we find that when the Britishers, they realized that this development of press in India had made the Indian people conscious about the rebellion that is going on in all around the country, we find that they tried to suppress or they tried to stop them. Accordingly, we find that at that time Lord Wellesley was the Governor General of India. Now Lord Wellesley, he passed the Concession Act of 1799, through which different restriction was being imposed in the press. Means they have to follow some rules, some cases or some events cannot be collected through this press. This was being imposed by this Concession Act of 1799. But later on, we find that this Concession 1799 was rejected, okay, was abolished, okay, was abolished in the year 1823. After this, let's go to the different kinds of newspapers that was being established in India. Some of the newspapers, let me first read out what are those. Papers like Banga Darshan, then Sanjeevani, Arya Darshan, another one is Amrita Bajar Patrika, then published from Bengal, okay. These are the newspaper that is being published from Bengal. In the second half of the 19th century, before I told you where it comes the 18th century and when comes the 19th century, I have already explained to you in the class. 19th century means between 1850 to 1900. Now in that time, okay, in the second half of the 19th century means during 1850 to 1900, in the year 1861, famine, all of us we know famine, yes, famine broke out in India. During this time, when the famine broke out, this press played a very important role in giving the news of this famine to the people in different parts of the country. Now, here this newspaper also focused about the failure of the British rule to look after this famine. Accordingly, we find that the people started working or rebelled against the Britishers through the information they got from this newspaper. Accordingly, we find that the British again started to suppress the press, okay, through the Vernacular Press Act in 1878. This was the very important, this Vernacular Press Act is a very important in the Indian history because through this press various restrictions were imposed to them. Another one is, we find that all over India, we find that many printing press were being closed down according to this Vernacular Press Act. Many newspapers that was being established in different parts of the country was being stopped or being closed through this Vernacular Press Act. Not only this act but also another act that was being passed by Lord Lytton at that time was the Arms Act 1878. This was also passed by Lord Lytton. Okay. According to this act, we find that Indians were not allowed to carry or to have an arms with them. But this act was not imposed to the foreigners, means to the Europeans. They were allowed, but the Indians were not allowed. Accordingly, when through the English education, okay, when people they realize that we have equality, yes, as we Indians, whatever rights we have, the Britishers also have. Whatever the Britishers rights they have, we the Indians also have. But this Vernacular Press Act and the Arms Act, we find that the Indian people, through this act, the people realize that they are being divided by the British government, means they are not provided similar rights to the Britishers. They are not allowed to put the arms with them while the Britishers were allowed. Yes, the Britishers press were allowed to work, but the Indian press were being stopped at closed at different parts of our country. Now, accordingly, we find that this Lord Lytton, he played a very important role in developing or awakening the Indian people through his different wrong method of acts. That is the Vernacular Press Act and the Arms Act. These two acts are very important in the role of press in Indian history. Now, let's move on to the growth of political association. Growth means to rise or to formation of political association. Means association is nothing but the groups. Okay. Now, the first political association, that is the All India Association, which was being formed in the year 1875 under the banner of Surendranath Banerjee. He was the founder of the All India Association. Now, this association, which was being founded by Surendranath Banerjee, played a very important role in the political awakening of our Indian people. Now, he was a he was a retired ICS officer. Okay, he lost his job for minor reason. Okay, now in olden days, this ICS examination, okay, was being performed according to in a very they have their age limit to sit for the examination. Before it was 19 years. Okay, that is 21 to 19 years only. The people within this age, that is 21 to 19, they are only allowed to sit for the ICS officer. The important one we have to know is that the ICS officer, the ICS examination was not being performed in India. It was being performed in Britain in olden days. But after the role of Surendranath Banerjee, okay, he was the ICS officer who lost his work because he formed the All India Association. Okay. Now, he was a person who tried to increase he tried to increase the age limit of the ICS examination. Another one is to bring the ICS examination center in India also. This was the role he played during his movement against the British rule. Now, in his work, we find that a person, okay, Lord Ripon, he has appointed Sir Ramesh Chandra Mitra as the Chief Justice of the Calcutta Supreme Court, who helped him to perform all his tasks. This is very important, that is the All India Association. After that, let's go to the Indian National Congress that was being founded by Ellen Octavian Hume in the year 1855. This Indian National Congress was the first political association or the political party in India, which we later on came to be known as Congress in India. Now, this Indian National Congress, during the time of its formation, okay, this group was being formed by 50 students, okay, 50 students under the banner of Indian National Union. Later on only, we find that this union got the recognition as an Indian National Congress. The first meeting, or we can say the first sitting of this party, took place along with 72 delegates, that is at Tejpal Sanskrit College Hall at Bombay. In this meeting, we find that Homesh Chandra Banerjee, okay, he was appointed as the first president of the Indian National Congress. Now, all of us, we have to know what are the aims behind the formation of this group. Number one is they tried to work out through prayers and petition. Prayers and petition means they are trying to focus as much as possible to non-violence. Another one is to maintain friendly relationship with the government. Means they want to work together with the government. Third one, it aims at securing Indian representative in the administrative machinery. In all of us, we know that most of the British government have the Britishers as their body organs. But we find that through this association only, they aim for bringing up the Indian representatives in the British government. Fourth, we find that during this time, we find that the Russian was being defeated by the Japan in the year 1905. And here also another incident took place, that is the partition of Bengal during the year 1905, which made this party to rise for the goodwill of the Indian people. Later on, this body became wide, the members became more, all the Indian educated tried to participate or to take a good role in this group. Later on, we find that through the process of their working, this party was divided into two groups, that is the extremists and the moderates with different opinion of their own. We find that although this party were divided, we find that both the groups tried to work for the independence of India. This group was a very important, or we can say that this Indian National Congress played a very important role in the freedom struggle of our Indian independence. After this Indian National Congress, let's study or let's know a little bit about who is Dadabhai Naoroji. Okay, he was a person who tried to introduce India in the international level. He was a very successful lawyer. He was the first person who became the member of the House of Commons. House of Commons are, all of us, is an international community or an international organization. Here he tried to introduce the Indian in the international level on the basis of different aims. What are those aims? He tried to raise the issues related to the problems. I mean, what are the problems that the Indians are facing in India? He tried to raise those problems in the international level. Secondly, he tried to pressurize the government or the international government to work for the Indian people. Thirdly is what? He tried to put into the eyes of the international government that the Britishers are draining or taking away all the wealth of the Indian people through India country without any information to the Indian government, or we can say that they are just taking away all the wealth of the India to their country with no permission. Fourth, let's see what are the demands. Okay, he demanded for the abolition of the opium trade. All of us, we know that opium is well grown in India. Yes, now the Britishers are having the opium trade in India also. Now he tried to abolish the opium trade from India to China. Opium were being exported to China at that time. He tried to stop this opium trade that are being exported from India to China in that time. Last but not the least, he pleaded the Indian money should be spent in India only, and for this money should be utilized for the well-being of the Indians. Now, after this, we find that he was a person, okay, who sat or he presided over the third meeting of the Indian National Congress in 1886. He was a very important person in the freedom struggle of India, which played a very important role through the association named as Indian National Congress in the year 1886. He presided the meeting of the Indian National Congress in 1886. This is all what we have studied in this chapter of growth of Indian nationalism. It is only about the growth. After this, we will be studying about the steps. What are the rebellion that took place? What are the different process the Indians have taken up in their fight against the British rule. This is we will be studying in the next chapter. Be safe, stay healthy in your house. Thank you. Here is another chapter. Thank you.
Stay home, stay safe, do it for self, live for family, live for India, let's break the chain of COVID-19. हम होंगे कामयाब। जय हिंद।